Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Your Success at Last DNA, doing those necessary actions, getting those daily needed attitude adjustments. I'm Tracy Ace Brinkman, your host, Sergeant Major Motivation around these here parts from YourSuccessAtLast.com. How was your weekend? Was it killer? Yeah, well, mine wasn't killer. It was all right. I putzed around the house a little bit, didn't do anything wonderful. I started this new project. It's called Pepakura. I learned about it at a recent Comic-Con convention I went to, and I'm a big superhero fan. Love those guys, grew up reading those comic books. I'm really happy that the movie makers of our world are delving into those storylines and bringing those to the big screen. But I'm making me a Wolverine cowl from the old style Wolverine from back in the early X-Men days. Maybe I'll pop a picture up there on the blog to show you what it's all about. Anyway, enough about me. How was your weekend? Wonderful? Let's start with our questions. Let's get right into things. We're going to try something a little new this week. Instead of just giving you a one-hit wonder podcast, I'm going to go into a series starting with this episode on I can and how you can get that I can attitude versus that I can't attitude. And we're going to chop that up into 3 parts. Part 1 coming today. But before we head that way, of course, we have our question. And today is, how do you feel? And how do you want to feel? I really like putting this question on the Mondays because so many people I see with the Monday moaning. Oh God, it's Monday. You're coming out of your weekend. Maybe you had a good weekend, you had an okay weekend, you're just kind of dreading Monday. And often that Monday moaning starts about Sunday afternoon when you start dreading, oh my God, I got to go to work, blah, blah, blah. Well, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel a little bit more excited about your job, or you're excited about your Monday mornings, or whatever is going on in your world? How do you want to feel? It kind of gets those creative juices flowing on what steps you need to take to start making those changes happen. Do you feel like your drive to accomplish your goal is weakening? Well, successful people often say that it's their drive to keep going despite that desire to quit that drove them to the successful heights in their business and career. So having your drive is probably a good thing. And really that sentiment perfectly sums up the I can attitude. Having that drive to keep going despite the desire to quit. Yeah, that will definitely drive you to some successful heights in any area of your life, right? Your business life, your financial life, your relationship life. In other words, even though the odds may be against you, keeping that I can, that positive mindset can give you that mental oomph, right? That push and the energy that you need to stick to your plan and build your life the way you want it, right? To travel down your success atlas, as I like to call it, to get the life that you dream, desire, and deserve. On the flip side, if you develop a negative attitude, that I can't attitude, it will weasel its way into it will weasel its way into every single situation that you're in. It will impact quite negatively your business, your career, your family, your relationships, even your social situations. If you keep telling yourself you can't do things, eventually you're going to believe yourself. And you'll lose the desire to even get out of bed and give it a go. All right? So, I guess you could put it into, maybe you're a new person at the job, or if you're a salesman, you have a new client and they invite you to an event or to a party. And maybe you chose not to go, because usually the answer is, I don't know anybody there. I don't know, I can't go there. I'd be so out of place. Or maybe there's this incredible opportunity that presented itself to you and really presented itself in an area where you could explore your passion. But you decided to not travel down that road because you were afraid. See, in these situations, these are the situations where we need to face our fears, all right? You need to attack that negative attitude and say, I can. Especially, and really especially, if there are distinct benefits that will help you in your business, in your financial world, in your personal life, in your relationship life, heck, even in your spiritual life. So instead of getting discouraged by setbacks or being fearful of those, I don't know if I can do that, think about your abilities, think about your strengths, and then, gosh darn it, push ahead. I want to take a quick little second here before we move on and discuss what I can't, really means or what it means to me. And let me step back for a quick second. And I'm not talking about the things where you say you can't because it's physically impossible. All right. I can't give birth to a baby. Yeah, I get that. Right. So let's not confuse those ones. For me, when someone says I can't, what they're really saying is I'm afraid to fail, so I'm not even going to try. See, for me, if there's a breath of air in your body and a infinitesimal potential of success that awaits you, why wouldn't you want to try? If there's a way to improve your life, your career, your relationship, your business, why wouldn't you, gosh darn it, take the risk? Oh, there it is, isn't it? Right? That's the answer. Trying new things involves a certain amount of risk. And not everyone out there is a risk taker. Most new situations don't involve life-threatening risk, right? They're just that fear risk. But the simple fact of not knowing the outcome, that's going to paralyze most people with fear. Unfortunately, fear prevents so many from trying anything new or different. Just different, right? Right? And it's more often than not very difficult to break that catch-22 cycle. So that's what I want to attack here a little bit over the course of the next couple of days. I can't are the words that come out of someone's mouth when they're crowded by the doubters, when they're crowded by their own doubt. They're plagued with that self-esteem, gnawing away at their self-belief, their ability to say I can. And they've stopped believing in their very own goals, their very own dreams, and their very own desires and aspirations. Now, you can get this back with a strong support system. A strong support system comprised of friends and family members who believe in your goals, right? Who can believe in your goals, and they can help you change that mindset, even reignite that passion. Maybe there's a best friend who knows that you have this ability within you, and they help try to pull it out. But if you don't feel like you have that support system, and there's folks out there that don't, you can look for it online and in social media groups and communities. Facebook's a great spot for this. You could search for groups named X, or groups like, personal development, groups like, salesmanship. I don't know. They're out there, so you can get with some like-minded folks. That's certainly a start. I can't is a way of denying yourself success. All right, because you're uncertain, you're uncertain that you'll be able to achieve the goal, and you're afraid that you're going to disappoint. And here's the thing. In the end, the only person that you're really disappointing is yourself, and you're really disappointing yourself even more if you don't at least make the attempt. Yeah, you might give it a shot and trip and fall. Stand up, brush yourself off, right? Go at it again. And you trip and fall again. How many times did you keep going? Until you reach your goal, right? Or until you decide you got a better goal to go for, which does happen. Okay? You keep on going. See, strong leaders don't have that I can't attitude. Or, let's be honest, maybe it happens, right? They're human. If they encounter it, they know the steps that they need to take to combat the negative thoughts so that they can continue with their plans. Because, it is human nature to doubt your ability to question your expertise at times, especially when you're faced with something new. The difference, however, is what you do to combat that self-doubt. See, those with that go-getter attitude, they know how to turn their negative thoughts into positive actions. So rather than dismissing themselves from the race of life, right, or just removing themselves from contention, they welcome the challenge, right? Maybe they don't always welcome it, but they certainly face it, and they welcome that challenge to learn something new. So let me leave you on today's episode with a few steps of what you can do to combat self-doubt and become a little more action-oriented. And then I'll tell you afterwards what we're going to chat about tomorrow and Wednesday. So a couple of steps for combating self-doubt. Number one is don't take criticism or mistakes personally. Yeah, that's it. No one's perfect, right? I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Okay, well, maybe you're a little more perfect than me, all right? But learn from your experiences and prepare yourself for the next time. Prepare yourself to keep the bad thing from happening again, or prepare yourself for when it does happen, that you're ready and you can take instant action, okay? You can face it with a little more confidence, or actually a lot more confidence. Number two, find ways to improve your skills. Now, the range is out there, especially in today's internet world. Continuation classes are really easy. E-courses, e-books, gain confidence in your skills, all right? And let me go into this for a quick moment. The skills that you have that are already great, keep them up. Do not let them slide. They have brought you up to your current level of success. All right. And then the skills that you feel need some enhancement, work on those. But what I have found over 20 some years of talking to folks and working with folks is that the level of improvement someone's going to get from enhancing poor skills is a lot smaller than the level of improvement that they will get from increasing their currently high-level skills. You want to work on both, right? I don't want you to leave those weak skills weak. I want you to strengthen them. But those skills that you rock at, those are the ones that are going to really rocket you, all right? So find ways to improve your skills. Now, think about your past successes. Yeah, success is sweet. Let's be honest. Ooh, doesn't that taste and feel so good? Words of praise, they're wonderful. And they do wonders for your self-esteem. So don't wait for other people to praise you. Think about the times when you were successful in the past and find the ways to regain those feelings again. Remember the journal I keep talking about? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. All right? Think about the problem or the task logically and then break it down into pieces. Just like I say about your big goals. Take your major definite purpose. You break it down into goals. And you break those goals down into smaller goals. And those smaller goals down into tasks. And those tasks down into do's. You can do the same thing with your problem. Alright? Because big problems, they can be overwhelming. So tackle them as smaller goals, and those smaller goals as tasks, those tasks as to-dos, one at a time. This will help you avoid confusion and reduce the stress. And then lastly, delegate what you can to other people, right? There are qualified experts in your circle of influence that will welcome the opportunity, all right? They're good at a piece of your problem, and they can help you whittle away at it, all right? Maybe you're a member of the team. Maybe you're leading the team. Use the resources around you to help you complete the job rather than taking it all on yourself, all right? So the next time that you're faced with the chance to try something new, right? To go somewhere new, to meet someone new, take a deep breath. Think about the benefits. Remember the times you've experienced success in the past, and what can you experience from this? What can you gain from this? And say, I can. All right? So tomorrow, I'm going to talk about that automatic I can't response. All right, how to chip away at that. I'm going to toss in a little thing in there called the media's mind trap. I'm going to leave you thinking about that one. And then on Wednesday, what you can do to change your mind. And then we're going to wrap up this 3-part series on I can. All right. So I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action, because I know you can. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.